Hello, people. Crysstal, you are aware that you are still
Oh no!
What?
You're still a ceiling.
You're half ceiling, half wall, half picture.
Yeah.
It looks good. That's really weird because it looks fine on my phone. I don't know how that's possible because it's sitting up straight.
I'm wondering, okay, you're going through Chrome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you might need to jump out and then jump back in. And
Yeah.
I was having the same problem all weekend because it was like freezing.
I think it's frozen because my picture. I'm straight. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
And
Triples. Yay.
That's how this works, don't you know?
I mean, yeah, but it is also Sunday. Lazy Sunday. But we don't, I don't know if we're gonna like start going to the chronic of Coals of Narnia, but there's that. So
yeah,
I also stumbled over that. So that's great. Hey,
there we go.
Listen, yay!
Yes, we are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Welcome to Two Geek Girls. Oh,
yes.
Feedback. That's not my feedback, is it? No, I don't have any.
It's not mine because I've got the headset.
Yeah, I've got headphones and.
There we go. All set.
There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it shouldn't be Kelly or myself because we've actually got headphones on.
There are headphones. Yeah. There's nothing in my house. Like, there's nothing.
Well, it just sounded like this, like someone's mic was hot.
Okay.
Yep.
And I fixed my mic because it's got the spit take.
Aha. There we go.
So
how's everyone doing today?
I've got the wonderful pop filter.
What's that?
And my gain is not very high, so.
And you guys hear me okay, though?
Yeah.
So it's not my mic. Okay.
No, you're good.
Okay. How's everybody doing? We're doing good?
Yes.
For the most part. For the most part.
There is a little bit of an echo, I think, on Crystal's end.
Okay.
Check your settings on Chrome. It'll do automatic default, which might also just be your straight up phone. I've learned this. I've become an expert at using StreamYard on my phone.
Valid.
It says default, so I don't know if I should.
Go down to your options, see if it's got your headset.
I don't have a headset.
There we go. So that's what's going on. It's okay though.
Yeah,
we can deal
it's
with
all right.
We can deal with it.
We're fine.
Let's try that.
Fine.
Yeah.
How's it now?
Better.
How is it now?
I think.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, it's better.
I mean,
I've done that before. That's really weird. I don't. Okay.
I don't know. Okay, I learned this weekend on using StreamYard via Chrome on my mobile device, so it acts weird. But anyway, hello everybody.
Yeah, StreamYard's been acting funky this weekend.
Yeah, who has also been victimized by the last episode of WandaVision? I don't do well. I don't do well with torture porn, and
I about cried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
I do fine with torture porn. It's just I felt that for Wanda.
Oh God, yeah. But at the same time, I spent like the whole time, and then my second time watching it, and then watching the video that did it at like a quarter speed so that you could see more of it. Like I spent all of that time kind of going, "Holy crap! They planned all of this."
Yep.
Like there's like this scene that we remember from Infinity War of Vision popping into her room, and she's like, "Vish, we've talked about this," and that's the first we've ever heard of that. And then she does it back here, and I'm like, it's like I'm recalling things. Like, this is fantastic.
I think ultimately they were just smart about it because the whole point of this entire show I've seen, just as a comic book, desperately wanting to know the history. So going into it, because I will say that the mystic side of Marvel is not my forte, but learning about everything prior to WandaVision, just so I had some ideas of what to expect, and then rereading and going into it and deep diving throughout the season to figure out, okay, this is where they're pulling this and etc.
Yeah.
The way that they weaved everybody that like it's Vision and Wanda's origin stories back from the 60s, despite how many rewrites and retcons and everything, they're including everything and making it very easy to understand and simplistic, but also tying it into their MCU universe. And it's very, very, like, to me, it's honestly, it is some of the most amazing adaptation writing I have ever seen in my life. And everyone needs an Emmy. Everyone needs like everything. I have enjoyed it. The only thing is I'm at the point that the moment someone talks about effing mutants after this episode, which is what happened, like I've turned everything, all of my group chats are off, like on mute. I'm not talking to a single person because it's like, I get it. Y'all want mutants. Mutants are going to happen, but it's not in this series. And I'm literally like, we just watched this gut wrenching episode that like literally shook me to my core and honestly kind of disturbed me from certain scenes that I am calling torture porn, because that's what they feel like. But the thing is that it's like, I'm sitting here reeling about this because I feel so much for the character and the story is so beautiful and everything. And everyone's going, but mutant means this because this equals this, and mutants, they're all mutants. And I'm just like, because like a slight spoiler, not really, but basically someone tried to say that, oh, because she has her witch powers, it means that everybody that's a mutant has witch powers. And I was like, so what do you think? Wolverine's just going to show up like Misty Day from American Horror Story Coven? Like, is happening? Is that going to happen? Because no, that's not happening.
No, that's
and I'm
not
done with
works.
it. And I'm so upset that everyone is still like on this train because they're like, but Evan Peters. And I'm like, okay, look, in the 1980s, you had recasts all the time, and that's the that's the play on that. But then too, it was also done to mess you up, to throw you off. It is trolling you as the audience, and the fact that you are still not willing to accept that is not my problem. But I'm at the point that I'm like, gonna start like getting angry because I'm like, did you not see this big emotional episode, this horrific traumatic situation that we should like literally focus on? No, you want Wolverine to be a witch. Great.
Which I think for me, no, and I get the stress of it. I think for me, because I read those comics, but I read them like years ago, that first of all, I went into this knowing it was going to be an adaptation, and I was just so curious about that. Like, I'm just like, how are they going to do this?
And it's
like,
beautiful.
It's beautiful, and I'm loving it, and it's so fulfilling for somebody who grew up with these characters. Like, oh my God, it's Agatha. Like, it's a lot, and I'm also trying to lower expectations about certain things that I was attached to that just aren't really going to work here. And that's okay. And I'm just loving the performances so much. Like, I like it. It's the emotional I saw coming but the performances, the quality of how they've done this is what is knocking me off my feet.
Yes.
It's
it is. And it is amazing the production value that they've put behind this. Like, you can tell, like something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., for example. Like, you can tell that the people who are working on it put a lot of heart into it, but like the production quality between WandaVision and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like you can tell Disney actually wanted to fucking deal with this and like have it be a part of the actual MCU and everything. Whereas like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're like, yeah, we'll let you do it. We're not going to take into account any of the events of this series.
Yeah. Exactly.
The heart is there with WandaVision. Like, so much heart.
Well, and my TikTok people is here.
Hi, TikTok people. But also too, like, the thing is like, because you were saying like it is different with Agatha, but at the same time, it kind of isn't, because
it's different.
We're like, it feels different with Agatha than from the comics, but at the same time, it might not actually be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I never had like. There's differences in there. Obviously, her origin's different. The things are a little different, but these are all things I expected. I knew that there's things that just don't translate one over the decades into from medium to medium, and that's absolutely fine. Exactly. It's just about getting that heart of the character. If that character is going to be that important, if that character is going to be there, then, like we said a million times before, respecting the character that survived for decades. They absolutely did. I don't care if she's younger or this or
The thing is,
I'm
slightly younger, but ultimately she's see, the thing that I think is funny is that like she is kind of that anti-villain, but in the way that she's curious, because the whole point is that she's literally just curious about the powers, which is the exact same situation from the comics when she first saw Wanda for the first time. So even though like it does feel scary, it should feel scary because we're seeing it from Wanda's perspective. And this is, you know, she did back in the comics, she didn't fully understand her witch powers. She doesn't understand them now. So that's how this works.
Yeah, exactly. This is not something she was ever thinking. But I love that they use the word transmutation. And that's an excellent. I love all the Nexus stuff that they put in there, because that's also kind of making my mind go like, wait, was that a Nexus moment? Was that something she pulled? Wait a minute. That's okay. That's just me. I'm loving the commercials. Again, every detail of this is just the
I'm sorry, the fucking yogurt commercial where the kid just fucking dies on the island.
Okay, I just have to say, like, because that was supposed to be like the 1999/2000 era. So like they went straight up into that late 90s aesthetic. But that commercial featuring Go-Gurt, I was like, that is the darkest Go-Gurt commercial I have ever seen.
Well, and there was some supposed to be like a Trix commercial. That was supposed to be like a Trix commercial from what I understood.
Okay, so the Trix commercials are from so when they started doing the Clay D animation for Trix was way in the 2000s. This literally is from this came from like the Go-Gurt commercial. So I think it was a mix between the two, but the Go-Gurt.
Okay, so they took some of the Go-Gurt inspiration for it, but they also had like the Trix yogurt.
Yeah, well, Trix yogurt actually came from Yoplait, which is also Go-Gurt, but Go-Gurt commercials with that clay animation style was first. And that's how I took that, because it was the grab and go, as Donnie says, grab and go yogurt.
Yeah.
Is Go-Gurt even still around? Do they still have that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I see it at soccer games.
Yeah. Okay. No, they still exist. It's you know, we don't watch the cartoon shows anymore. We still try to market it there.
I actually do. It's just I haven't seen a Go-Gurt commercial in years.
None of us watch cable.
I get Hulu commercials, and since I looked up the word bidet once, every bidet commercial on YouTube. Like, seriously?
I have YouTube Premium, so I don't get commercials on YouTube.
I don't know. I'm too entertained by some of the commercials. They're amazing, like the purple Sasquatch one.
I had way too many of the exact same Allstate commercial back to back to back when I was using my Xbox for streaming things on a regular basis. And so I said, fuck it, YouTube Premium. Hi, Eddie. Because it was YouTube Red at the time, and I've been grandfathered into that $10 price, and I'm sticking to it.
I love it.
It's like, no, it's worth it. Like, I got, because of the YouTube Premium, like, they sent me a Google Nest Mini at one point, because they're like, hey, you've actually been fucking paying for our shit, and no one else does. Here's a free product.
Well, now, I will say this. The Google Minis, they do give them out so every few years. So you might think it's because of the YouTube Premium, but even I have one, and I've never paid for YouTube Premium in my life. And it's because they every few years they look at people who have been using the Google products, regardless if you pay it or not, but that you're using the Google products consistently, and then they'll say, "Hey, do you want this? It's free for every Google user," but they do it in batches, is what it gets down to. So so as long as you see the email, and then you have I think 90 days from the time that they send out that one email. And if you see it and you agree to it, then you can click on it and you get a free, $30 Google Mini. Yeah. And you get to pick your colors, because I had already had a Google Mini from my Chromecast, just because it was free with the Chromecast in some bundle. Long time ago, but I couldn't pick a color. It was just gray. So this time I got blue.
Oh yeah, I've got the light blue one.
Yeah. The teal, it's beautiful. Yeah. Great. But yeah, that was because you get to pick your colors and everything. I was like, ooh, this is so much fun. And I'm just happy that it's free. And it's truly free. They ship it to you for free. It's great.
Yeah, they ship it to you for free. They like, you don't pay for any. I'm like, yes. Like the next time I'm able to do that, like I'm gonna put one in the kitchen.
And I mean, I don't, they always say it's one for every person, but at the same time, I think it's just based on the email account. So who knows, like, but it's always done in batches. So who knows when you're going to get it? Cause nobody knows. It's just a randomized thing. I think of like 1,000 people per time per year, but it's a lot of fun to get them. I've also, I'm trying to think, cause there was also something I got for free and now my brain is,
we are very ADD. So back to WandaVision.
Back to WandaVision.
Yes. I know for me, this last episode, once I got over the first initial time of just watching the two of them in it. Well, I mean, everybody in it, but those two in it. Went back and watched it 2 more times. And then as they break down the video at the quarter speed. And then I got to see when somebody cleaned up the picture of her as Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
And it's a thing of beauty. But it's a lot of these little details. Like I wanted to see what because they're putting everything in there, and you can't catch it all in the beginning.
Yeah,
and I which I love. This is something, of course, Marvel has excelled at recently. And I guess and anything that's going to tell me where and of course I just want more, and this means that I just want all the other shows to be this good. I want everything else to be this great because I think they will be. But I
have high hopes for Loki.
I believe in Loki. I'm sure that we all have people that wound up working on that set anyway. So we know a little bit more inside information. Obviously, not going to give that out because NDAs are a bear, and I'm sure knowing Disney, they probably have been able to contact trace everybody we know from that set just from me saying this. So not going to talk about it. But I have
XYZ who worked on this.
Yeah. So I believe that that's going to happen. I've had somebody, like a mutual friend. I don't know what they were trying to do, but like I was just talking about like my theories, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're a smart cookie because blah blah blah." And I was like, "Oh no, don't do that. Don't tell me this. Like, stop breaking your NDA." But from what I have been explained, I have high hopes for just about everything up to Doctor Strange 2. I think the only thing that like people literally are like, do not tell Kelly this. We're not talking to her. No, has been Spider-Man 3. But I kind of know enough to know that like it's nothing what the fans think. And I'm kind of getting annoyed with the fact that everyone still thinks this, because I'm like, okay, look, like that guy off Twitter lived in LA, does not does not DoorDash in Atlanta. So let's shut the heck up about the Andrew Garfield thing, which no one does. And I'm sitting here like the guy does not live here in Atlanta. Like he lives in LA. It's literally on his Twitter profile. What the heck? Toby has not been on set, because for a fact that if someone saw Tobey Maguire in Atlanta, it'd be all over the place.
Yeah, like there would be no way that shit would not immediately have been like, have you heard?
Oh my god, he's in a Buckhead hotel. Like we know this, but the thing is that
weren't they doing some of the filming up in New York though?
They were for a few weeks, but the only thing that I know from that is that that's probably mostly where they had Doctor Strange stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because
that's likely.
Benedict Cumberbatch has not been here in Atlanta because he's been filming in London or New York for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So it looks more like they filmed his scenes in New York back in November. And then when they moved down here, that's when they moved that production to London. Obviously, there might be some interloping. There might be some stuff we don't know about because it is MCU. It is that production company. They can keep stuff under wraps. They will. But the issue is that those actors still weren't there for those 2 weeks in New York either.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Because in fact, like while they were filming in New York, there were the photos of Toby going to the costume fitting in LA. Like he was not physically in 2 places at once.
Right. Yeah, there's no way.
But, like, whatever. Because the thing is what I personally feel like, Toby might show up in Doctor Strange. He's not showing up in anything else.
I mean, anything. Yeah, anything's a maybe, and then it's perfectly possible for one day, like one quick thing, like
exactly. Because what I feel like they are doing Multiverse of Madness, and that in that situation, I could totally see them having those situations within what is a movie totally about the multiverse. Versus right now, what we're seeing is things breaking down, because I think eventually we're getting into Secret War territory. Yeah. Which is where all the multiverses kind of come together and start fighting, basically crashing and colliding and stuff like that.
I think when we get to the Multiverse of Madness, I was going to say, when we get to Multiverse of Madness, that's when they're going to introduce the mutants into the MCU.
Exactly. Right. We're just not there yet, and I'm really tired. And like, I have memes upon memes that I have made where it literally is just like, no more mutants and stop making mutants happen. It's not happening. Like the Mean Girls quote, because
it doesn't make sense for them to just be like, oh, because they've already introduced Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch as
transmutations as opposed to
mutates. Mutates is the technical word.
Exactly. And so here's the thing too. Who's to say that the mutants also don't come from some kind of Hydra experiment down the line later in Winter and Falcon and Winter Soldier, way back when. Or whatever, like there's so much difference that they could still make it work in the MCU universe that fits into that universe, that isn't just, oh, so she's a witch, so that means that her mutant powers come from no, because that's actually not the case in the freaking comics either. Like, calm down, because that was the whole thing. Is like literally that's the thing that made me mad, was they were like, okay, so she's a witch, so that means her brother's a warlock, and the powers, that's their mutant powers. And I was just like, okay, look, because all I could picture while this person was explaining this was, basically like American Horror Story Coven and, like Misty Day just frolicking through the woods listening to Stevie Nicks, but like Wolverine. And when I explained that to them, I'm like, that's literally what you sound like right now. That's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. It's not happening. And they're like, well, if an Australian can pretend to be Canadian. What?
But that's not what. But no, that's not how his life works.
No, it's like there's a thing called acting. Like insert Charles Xavier here saying acting. Like what? Like
it's like we can make fun of.
But it made me so mad. Yeah, no, and it made me so mad because I was just like, also, did we just not watch the same episode? Because you're focusing on the wrong thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took, no, and then I admit that I agree in that it took me several viewings to get past that initial moment of when that episode was over.
Well, because you were, the thing is like you were excited to see her have witch powers as a fan of Scarlet Witch, which makes sense because, yes.
Yeah.
We're here to get into that mysticism that is so much a part of Wanda. Yes. But you didn't sit there and go, oh, her witch powers are mutant powers. No, you didn't do that. So that's my thing. It's like, it's one thing to get focused on, oh, hey, did you see this scene where we're here? We're here. Versus,
another thing that they don't exactly give us like a timeline of is like what age Wanda and Pietro had this Hydra experiment done on them. Because
they were teens.
Yeah, so like we could also theoretically just be like, hey, they were going to have their mutant powers show up at that point in time anyway.
Well, yes.
I mean,
because it's with the mutants, it tends to happen around puberty.
Yeah. I think they're slightly older. So like the thing is that we've established in WandaVision, the twins were born in 1989, which means right now, because they're in 2023, 2024, she's about 33, 34 years old. And so essentially we would assume give her about a year or two with her new powers before Age of Ultron. So she was probably honestly about like right at 18, maybe 19.
Yeah,
I think when those powers, because clearly she had to sign off on it. She was a volunteer.
Yeah,
but I would
Also, it's Hydra.
Fairly young. So and it's Hydra.
I'm just going to point out, Hydra probably takes volunteers at a young age anyway.
Probably, but I assume that they didn't have their powers for long during Age of Ultron, and that was what I probably around. She was probably 23, 24, so I would assume like tops 21.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and these are the emerged trained powers after having been in contact with the Infinity Stone.
Exactly. Yeah.
As opposed to the little clues that we got that do go to her being a different kind of being. And for me, when somebody says a witch, I'm like, okay, but in any multiple universes, even if whether it's Marvel universe or anything else, giving somebody the name of a witch has more to do with the power itself as opposed to just the blanket idea of some people just work with magic. It could be that there could be a scientific explanation that they're trying to give for that. There could be something about, that they're trying to, and again, they pointed out Nexus being, which is why I think when certain things happen around her, videos cut out because in that moment she is out of that time and space. I think she's in the central time and space. She's a part of the
Nexus. Yeah. No, I get that. And I think that that's ultimately what's going to happen, because the thing is it's very clear that they're establishing no. She's had these powers since, but it got amplified by the stone. But at the same time, these powers do not equate to a mutant power, because this isn't mutated. This is an inherent power. More than likely, her family probably comes from a line of those witches like Agatha.
Yep.
Because the issue with Agatha was that she went above her rank and power of the time. People are forgetting that line. And that's the part that that's the part that that's the kind that ties into Doctor Strange. That's one reason why, when I saw she had a magic book, and you notice how the Darkhold is not in original Doctor Strange, and it's very clear that it's predominantly gone.
Yep.
She might have the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Which would explain her, doing what Doctor Strange does. I takes died. She
exactly.
does. Yeah. Of course, she gets. Her mother tries to kill her, whereas Doctor Strange becomes a protector. But but the whole point is that she just because she was so curious about it and powerful and drawn to it and drawn to it,
she's
just as she is to Wanda.
She's Agatha Harkness, which I also love the fact that now there's people coming out of the woodwork going, well, she was my favorite character. And I'm like, but was she really? Because she's no one's favorite character. Let's be fair here. She's really no one's favorite character. You love her, but she's no one's favorite character because she's never really had a focal point in the Marvel series. The only reason you're starting to love her now is because it's Catherine Hahn, which, yes.
Yeah,
I'm here for this
character. You can say on WandaVision, my favorite character was Agatha Harkness.
Yes,
you could say that 100%, and everyone would be like, "Yes."
Yeah, but you can't sit there and go, "My favorite character of all time in all of the Marvel comics is Agatha Harkness," because then I'm just gonna be like, "Wait." So Franklin Richards' nanny is your favorite character? The nanny.
The nanny. That's not even Granny Goodness. When's the last time you saw somebody cosplaying as Agatha Harkness?
Right?
Yeah.
Although now we're gonna get everybody.
But we're gonna get Catherine Hahn, Agatha, which is totally fine. Again, I don't blame anybody a little bit.
I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. At all means. It's really funny. The two sides of MCU Twitter ultimately is the people pretending that they know that stuff that they don't really know, and then the people going, well, none of it matters, it's only MCU, but I'm also going to pull crazy stuff because I'm not over the fact that they were definitely trolling me on Evan Peters. And it's like, no, they were trolling you on Evan Peters. Get over it. You were trolled, you got played.
Kat Dennings is the voice. Kat Dennings is the voice of the trolling production company, and then just whatever she says, just take it. Yeah, just take it as it is. Whatever she's saying is exactly what they want you to know.
And it's brilliant filmmaking, and the fact that they're gonna mess with you, and the reason they're messing, I think the ultimate issue here too, though, is I'm afraid next week's episode is gonna make people mad because it's not gonna be what they want. And the issue even though for story wise, it's gonna be beautiful, and it's gonna the majority of the people that are here just for the story are going to love it. Super comic fans, I think, are going to love it. But the people that are still hung up on this mutant situation are not going to be happy about it. And the thing that I have about that is these are also the people that don't see the plot holes within Endgame because they got so much fan service. And they're like, oh, but I got what I wanted to see. And it's like, but it also didn't equate very well to the story and actually created a plot hole later that Loki, like the Loki TV series now, is honestly going to have to fix.
Yeah.
And I love watching anything about all the things that MCU has had to go back and fix, like fake. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome. You guys took care of that. Thank you. There's gonna be that, and then I watched I hadn't gotten to see all of them, but the Infinity War deleted scenes, a bunch of the deleted scenes that were going to lead to like different endings and different moments and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they couldn't do that, or that. Hey, that. I don't know. There were some of them I like.
There was stuff they should have used, and they chose not to because they decided to go for fan service other than storytelling. And I get it, like, because the issue at hand is that was marking. It was the end cap of a 10-year production, a 10-year chapter. Sure, fine. Have senioritis, give people what they want. But the issue is now that you've given what they want, it's like Gremlins. We fed the fans after midnight, and now they're going to be little bitches when you don't give them what they want. And that's the thing that makes me mad because I'm like, I'm literally like, I had a conversation with another thing that I'm doing, and I got told that I had to dumb my responses down because I was being quote unquote too smart or too knowledgeable within the comic lore, and that's not what they're doing. But the issue is what I've seen, that is what they're doing. The thing is guess what? I'm taking myself out of the situation and going by MCU and going by what the story is and enjoying the story for what it is and just thinking logically on what the next steps would be.
Because they are.
But because exactly. But because I'm not engaging in this fan service notion because it doesn't logically make sense, I'm not right, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like I still like I want to so much just go in there and be like, are you effing kidding me? But at the same time, I'm not, like, I feel like I can't do that in that situation. Right. But it's literally is like I've taken myself out of it. Well, like my comic fandom is not fully based in the MCU.
Yeah, and here's another thing, like pointing out the loopholes and plot holes that even the MCU created is not being like not being too smart about comic books. It's simple storytelling issue.
You watch the movie.
It's a movie issue.
It's a movie issue. Yeah. Yeah.
And well, that's the thing. Like, I got told that I was being too negative when I was like, I don't like Endgame because I don't like these fan service things because they plot holes. Case in point, Joe Biden, aka old Cap, because Cap, from what we know within the story, he would never stop fighting.
He would have never gone back.
Where is he?
Based in all of her TV series and everything else, she would never have stopped fighting for the good. They would have sacrificed their own happiness for the good of the people. That is who they are. So you're telling me that they basically went, oh, well, Tony died for all of this, so I'm going to go back in time and choose love and not fight.
Yeah, that's not very, like, literally you give us Captain America wielding fucking Mjolnir. And then you're going to have him go back in fucking time for the sake of love?
I mean, they could.
This isn't a Meatloaf song. This is Captain America we're talking about.
No.
Yeah. I mean, because there was nothing to tie that in with any real motivation beside, like, it would have been one thing if you said he had moments in time that you figured out, or like, if you want, but again, they argue about this. They argue like, no, he went to another time site. He was in another time site and he did this. No, he did. And these are the creators, by the way. These are the creators that argue about this.
It's a literal editing issue. I mean, it's a literal editing issue is what it gets down to.
You said the opposite like an hour and a half ago. You literally had Banner say the opposite an hour and a half ago. But
it's like he would not have old man Cap just show up. Like he would have, again, back to the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah. Well, also it looks like Joe Biden. Old Chris Evans looks like Joe Biden, and I will not. I always call it Joe Biden Cap. For better or for worse, it looks like Joe Biden Cap, and yeah. So anyway, because that's my one tangent on that makeup. But yeah, no,
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris. Also, yes, it should be. Honestly, a Meatloaf, like using the lyrics of a Meatloaf song, probably would have had a better continuity than Endgame.
I would do anything for love, but I won't.
But I won't do that. I won't sacrifice my duty to my country.
Exactly. It's not very Captain America of you, sir.
There's nothing wrong with wishing something had been different for a character. That's what makes the character wonderful. That means you get a stat just like with Tony Stark. We wish it could have been different.
Exactly. Like, to me, Tony's arc through MCU, while not very Tony Stark-esque for the comics, is beautiful in and of itself for the movies, and I'm down for it. I'm 100% cool with it because he learns a lesson and he makes the ultimate sacrifice.
Yeah.
He grows. Everything makes sense. Yeah.
The thing is you have Cap be very steadfast in his beliefs, and he's the reason why Tony changes and grew. Yeah. So then to have him revert into a second Tony?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no. It's like, look, this is not a Captain America response. Not even remotely. I get that you wanted to do the fan service thing and have old man Cap because Evans, his contract was up.
Yeah.
But that's
it was for
contracts are for.
It was for fan service. Yeah, no, it was for fan service. Like, the thing is like fan service is using the Ron Friends splash page with Cap wielding Mjolnir, because that's exactly what they used from an old issue, and it's amazing.
And don't get me wrong, that was like perfect. That was bloody brilliant that they did that. That was the perfect way to do fan service.
And it's the perfect fan service.
Like, here it comes, it's coming. This is working. He's gonna do it.
Yeah, but then there's so many other things peppered in throughout, like, that just don't quite make sense, because ultimately at the end of the day it actually creates plot holes. Yes. I mean, okay, look. If you really, really want the Marvel Legend, get the Marvel Legend. It's still cool. Like, I still love that scene. Mm-hmm. And not only because of my love for Ron Friends, who is the coolest person ever, but also just in general, like, it makes so much sense. Like, that's the fan service that makes sense to the plot.
Yeah. And it was perfect. It needed to be done in that way. Like, if you're going to do fan service, that kind, like in the moment with the Hail Hydra, for example, in Endgame, that was the perfect way to just pepper it in.
Yeah,
perfect way to pepper it in.
Yes, and it's not going to change anything. It's not going to. It's not weird. It doesn't go back. It's like, again, like you said, it's getting distracted. You got distracted by the giant spider. You got and you completely forgot the whole point of a bunch of important things. Everything.
Exactly.
They jumped the shark.
They jumped the shark. Although I would say this, I don't think that anything in MCU has jumped the shark completely yet. But we're getting if they were to do mutants in the next episode, that would be a jump the shark moment. Yes. And I don't think that they're dumb to do it. I think that they're smart. Bunny.
They are very smart.
Hi, Buster.
Aww.
Buster Bunny.
He doesn't eat birds. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's okay.
He doesn't eat birds.
He's cute, though. It's fine. He doesn't need birds. He's good.
Promise we would bring him on for a little bit one of these points.
Yes.
There he
Such
is.
a cute bunny.
And it's what did I just saw? I love that you're bringing up Gremlins, because I was just reminded of that. I just watched a video that did like the best fan service that ruined things.
But are MCU fans not gremlins right now? In the whole, like, we need mutants. If we don't have mutants, we'll riot. We're going to be so mad if we don't get what we want. And it's like, you're not getting what you want, so shut up.
You're not getting what you want. You just literally just want them to say the word. You literally just want them to say the word. And like, you have everything. Everything is here. And it's really good. Just literally over a word, you're going to riot. Like, go ahead and kill Dale. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not going to riot. It's still good. Well, it used to be. Anyway.
Yeah. Also, important question.
Yes, but by accident. Like I named my first rabbit Bugs because he was gray and white. I didn't think I was going to keep him. And I named this one Buster because he looked like a dust bunny. And because he was just like this little, he was half that size when we got him. So he just like this little gray floof. I thought he was a stuffed animal, one of those keychains you get from China. So I was like, oh, a little Buster. And then I was like, wait, did I just name him after another? Yeah, I did.
Yes, it's fine. It works. It's actually a perfect continuation. And
you mean like
great.
this?
Yeah. Yeah. But I never give up on the MCU because there are enough people involved in the production, obviously, who still have faith in it.
Yeah.
And even with something like this is going to drive us nuts, and it means that there are movies we like. I mean, the one movie I've watched over and over again, even though I know there's better moments, and anyway, is Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
This is the one over and over again. I love this movie so much.
The Kirby love letter is what I call it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it is also one of the better. It's great. Anyway,
it is. I mean, my thing is like I actually like all the Thor movies. I think for what they are, they're great. The thing is that the first two don't really give you enough fan service, but at the same time, let's be fair here.
Always a balance.
Who really like care? Like the thing is that we're establishing an actual genuine Thor that you can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
So then we can have somebody who is zany and fun and wants to use those Kirby imagery to give you crazy. Because the thing is with Thor, you can't just jump straight out the gate with it because there's not a lot of human aspects in the 60s because they are gods.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
and people really forget that. And that's the whole... I don't have too many complaints with the MCU other than Endgame, just because I was like, okay, so y'all had senioritis like hell, which is fine because I get it.
Endgame,
but like you created monsters.
If you totally ignore just like plot things and you're just like going at it to watch something fun, which the first time I watched it, that's what I did.
Yeah.
I was like, look, this is supposed to be the love letter for this like 10-year cycle of films. So I sat down, I watched it with my boyfriend, and we ended up accidentally going to the exact same showing as some of our friends. So we all sat down as a group and like watched it on like opening night or some shit. Was it opening night? It was either opening night or the night after, like right at the beginning, because Josh worked on Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's I mean, again, I feel like I don't know if WandaVision exceeded my expectations. I'm certainly incredibly happy with it. I don't know if they've ever really failed me. Again, as a DC fan predominantly, it's hard to explain to Marvel fans my heartbreak.
Yeah, no. Also, I'm sorry about the recent news with J.J. Abrams, because I like J.J. Abrams, but I don't know how I feel about him being a Superman director.
At a certain point, it just kind of feels like, yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I did not see this news. Excuse me? Why?
Yeah.
Batman Super Son, Batman. Anyway, there's a whole thing over here in the comics, and so and then you have it's a lot. Anyway.
Yeah, and not to mention, I'm just gonna throw that out there just because to explain everything is the whole fact that like, they have a really great writer for it. Like he's a new up and coming writer. I'm totally cool with him. The thing is J.J. Abrams just did a mini-series with his son on Spider-Man, featuring Spider-Man's son, that was really horrific and timeline behind, like tremendously behind, not even just COVID times behind. Like it literally took, like for a 5-issue it took a year and a half to do. It's really bad. And it's a really bad storyline. I have gone in depth over on the crawl space on how disappointed I am in it. Yeah. And so to see then J.J. Abrams directing this and have it a very similar storyline to what him and his son wrote for Spider-Man, I have a big concern.
I gotcha. Yeah.
It's like Please don't bring out the giant Please don't bring out the giant spider, because that is a point in that miniseries. They brought out a spider, the big gigantic spider, which we've all know is storyline 101. No,
giant spiders. No.
No.
I don't care what you call it. Stop it.
This isn't Skyrim. We don't need frostbite spiders.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
Only of us frostbite spiders.
It's a lot of news to process with the new one, and I'll just sum it up with J.J. Abrams. I don't have a lot of faith. I feel like he feels like he can do no wrong. He feels like he can do no wrong. So if somebody disagrees or points something out, it can't possibly be him.
Oh yeah. No, like he went to Trek, and don't get me wrong, like the casting in Star Trek was great.
Oh yeah.
But anything that JJ touched in Star Trek
could be picked apart.
I mean, honestly, he also kind of ruined Star Wars too. Like I don't
like what Chris just said. Abrams is going from property to property, ruining them all. He's an anti-geek media supervillain.
He was sent into the past.
It's so sad. It's also so sad. Yeah. It's also so sad because he is a good fan. Like he is like a good fanboy. He just doesn't have the touch to handle like a good media, like for this medium, but even for writing mediums. Like I don't know what medium he needs to be in to create nerdy content, but like he's not found it since the first 2 seasons of Lost.
Yeah. No, like it's one of those things. It's like, dude, like you just need to stay away from our fandoms. You can be a part of the fandom. Just don't touch the fandom. Like we are cool with you being a fan with us. Do not make media.
It's we like you. We like your opinions. Just please stop making stuff.
Because it's not working.
Yes. It's like we like you as a person. Yeah. We just don't like you as a director. Please stop touching our fandoms.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. All right, guys.
All right. Well,
I gotta head out.
Yes, Crysstal needs to head out.
My internet's also starting to act up, so y'all are starting to sound like robots. So.
Well, good timing then.
Good timing.
Okay.
So, everyone, we will see you next time. Kelly, Crysstal, thank you for being here.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great one, guys. Bye.